Yeah, it's just golf. Always. I don't want to hit the volume. You don't understand. I will hit you in the small. Yes. Stonks. I know I do. Next Monday. Fingers crossed. It's honestly, I should send update pictures. It's so much prettier now. I'm not for now, Liam. Yeah. No. I literally went, Liam, I'm in Bernal, and you went, Jack, I love statistics. So I was like, he probably heard me. Looking for an ISO file. I know where it is. We're gonna try again. Cry. No, I know I should, but I've sacrificed many goats. I've cheated the system. What I've done is I've taken a USB stick and I've made it bootable for Linux. So what I mean is like I can plug it into Windows, but I can open any Linux file as long as it's in my USB stick. So the problem that I had last week was that like I allocated like 250 gigabytes of space, and it was saying there was like 5 megabytes because none of it was partitioning correctly, because Windows is stupid. But now I have forced it into a 32 gigabyte memory stick, which is now full of Linux. Oh, Ubuntu. Yeah, I'm slightly worried about next week. Not gonna lie. Because it's the person who presented today was the other student, is a postgrad student, a PhD student. No, he's really good. He's like an entirely like coding based project where he's doing like an area that hasn't been explored before, and he has like results that he has to show, and I have no results to show. A nerd. Slaps my desktop. His baby can fit so many goats in it. I do have a desktop PC in front of me. It's just it won't work because I couldn't make a goat because someone set this stupid computer up incorrectly. Hmm. Yeah. I have 30 minutes to try and figure out this protein structure. Because the problem that I'm having is that, so there's a software that we're using for our simulations. Simulations work, but it's removing some of the residues, like from the ends of the protein. We need to add them back on, otherwise we can't publish anything with it because it's not a representative structure. Um, and every time I add one back on, there's this one molecule. It's a serine molecule that is, it doesn't exist in the structure. Like it doesn't exist in the sequence of the actual sequence. For some reason, the software just added it. And every time I remove the serine molecule, an entire chain of the trimer just yeets itself from the main. So it's like just hanging there. And I'm like, ugh, very irritating. So I'm going to try and figure out how to keep my molecules. Many, many goats have been sacrificed. I would have so many results if I just had like a normal Linux machine to begin with, but just Windows. It's just Windows. All the molecular dynamics software runs better on Linux. Linux is made to run that software. Windows is not. Windows is made to be quote unquote accessible. But whenever you try to download any molecular dynamics software, it's incompatible with the OS files that Windows have built up for itself. No, because it's different. Like ANSYS CFD, perfectly fine for Windows. Polymath, perfectly fine for Windows. Aspen Plus, perfectly fine for Windows. But VMD, like visualization of macromolecules and molecular dynamics simulations, Windows cries. It doesn't know what to do with itself. Whereas Linux, you just type one command and that's it. It's done. Because once I have this, and at least I get some results for next Wednesday. But I don't have any results for my masters to show, and that's what I'm worried. Because the PhD student had he'd already written several scripts, run experiments, had charts to show, had molecules that he could show. I have, you know, half of a literature review. I think my project is cooler, but I don't know how much that cool factor is going to carry. But what if there's a polymath called Pierre? And when I say polymath, I genuinely mean polymath. This man knows literally everything about science. No. You don't understand. This man runs more projects than I do. Pierre is running 10 projects in parallel and doing all of them at the same time. Um, no, but I'm fairly sure he could trounce you in French politics. Really? Political frogs are pretty dumb. Political frog. Donald Crook. Ribbit. China. It's from Louis Palella. He took over Biobrooks Engineering 1 for the second half. He did crystallization, liquid extraction. And instead of saying liquid, he said liquid. And Simone thought it was very funny. So she cried in the middle of a lecture and she was like, Jack, you will not believe what our lecturer just said. Yes! I have 27 gigabytes. Do you realize how much larger that is than 5 megabytes? As boot, it has Casper. Oh, this Giant is going to be really happy. I remove you. What's this? Also, because I'm a TA, I got a University of Limerick mask and it's very spicy. But I also get a visor. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They prevent you from giving it to people that you're within 1 meter. They're very uncomfortable. But it does make sense. Like the mask doesn't stop all the air from escaping. Like when I'm teaching with the mask, the top part of my mask is like condensation central. Like it's no. Even without glasses, like it's the air escapes. But with the visor, it definitely doesn't go near people. So that's why we're kind of mandated to wear one. Stop calling me a nerd. I have. If you would love this. I feel like you would enjoy spouting stuff. So I corrected a first year's lab report yesterday. Um, I think I wrote more in the comment than she did for her entire. It's 345 words long. No, the report. It is exactly a page. And in fact, there are 2 line spaces between diagram and procedure. From analyzing the data collected, it is fair to say that both results have a wide range of results, e.g. 0.52 to. It's honestly my favorite line. Theoretically, the 20 sheets of paper should be exactly double of the 10 sheets of paper. However, due to the fact that there are a number of outliers in our measurements, this results in there being a 0.77 millimeter difference in the two averages. From studying the results and analyzing the procedure of measurement, it shows us that although we measured the same object, i.e. paper, and we used the same tools to measure the object with, the results of our measurements are still significantly varied. This could perhaps be, and then in all caps, scientific error. An error in the use of measurement tools or even a speculation. In fairness, she has more structure than the second year lab reports I corrected last year. No, no. And in fairness, like, the points are there. Like she's talking about how, like, when you measure something, there's some inherent variance that, like, it should be double, but because there are outliers and because she was working from a class data set, they aren't all the same, and as a result, they're not really. But yeah, no. No, I gave her a 5, and the only reason I gave her a 5 is because there was a part 2 to the report which she didn't put in. Well, she did the lab at 2 o'clock. She submitted it at half 2. Even our lecturer was like, wow, that is very fast. Good job. I will send this to the demonstrator. No, I gave it. No, in fairness, they're not being marked. As in, like, it's a guide mark. So, as in, like, if I was giving this report and I was going towards the final grade, I would give it 5 out of 10 because she omitted half of the report and she didn't put in units in some places, and like the entire thing was about error. She didn't mention the error, and like accuracy of units, and she was like 2 different places of a millimeter because she was using the vernier calipers. She didn't mention the instrument that she used. She didn't put in her student ID, so I had to give her like a 5. I couldn't give her like a 7. But I gave her detailed feedback because at least then she can then doctor her next report too to the things that were missing in the. All right. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next. Well, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about next week, but I'm very scared. I have built this molecule so many times. So I will have to leave in 15 minutes because I have a half 11 meeting.